Yes, hello everybody. We are live. It's been a while actually. We've been live because we've been at all the games, but it's good to do a proper live video. For it's been a while, hasn't it, Josh?
It definitely has. I haven't been on one for ages.
It's good to see you. How was Edinburgh?
It was good, messy, expensive. Good crack though. It's such a nice city. It's the first time I've been up there without watching football and actually discovered Edinburgh rather than being absolutely smashed out my face.
Yeah, it's a fantastic city. I was up there last September for my the other half's joint celebrations for birthdays.
Nice.
This special video, thinking, oh, what's this all about? Then what's happening? So, welcome to the live coverage here on NFTV. If you can smash the like, please do. That would be wonderful. Keep your comments. Come and ask any questions about NUFC, Newcastle United Supporters Trust. Any questions about Josh, why he wants to step up? Please fire them in the comments if you do wish to. But I wanted to talk about, first of all, Josh, evening to you, Lois. How are you? The obvious question is, why put yourself forward then?
Why? It's I want to be a voice. I don't want to be one of those that just sit back and expect others to sort of take things forward. I want to get involved. I've got my own ideas and I've got my own opinions that I want to try and push forward. And I see NUFC as the best group to do it. They're the most supportive of the fan base, and I just feel like they need freshening up. They need new ideas, and they need people that aren't necessarily just Geordies to be part of the group.
As you can probably echo for yourself, obviously you've moved up here, and you kind of get away from the place now. You love Geordie land, haven't you?
Oh, definitely. It's the best place in the world. And I'm not even just saying that because I'm a fan. I've lived up here with my family for 4 years. I mean, we completely migrated up here, moved everything here, 2 young kids, and I'd honestly never, ever go back.
Yeah. I don't like London. I'm not going to lie. But yeah.
I don't like London. I'm from London.
Brilliant. So obviously, Josh wants to make a change of that as well. But yeah, anybody can say that, can't they, Josh? But why should NUS members vote for you?
Why? I'm passionate about the club. I've always been passionate about the club, and I've never hidden the fact. I've released my mental health story quite a few times through quite a different avenues, and I've never been shy in saying the club helped save my life, which it did. If I didn't have the club, I wouldn't have had that release, and I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've had and met the people that I've met. And I want to give back, and it's as simple as that. I want to give back to the club and to the fans for the club saving my life. And I think with that passion and that enthusiasm going forward is something I can really help deliver with NUFC and in communicating with fans and just getting on board and pushing things forward, because I'm as frustrated as everyone else.
Do you want to see more of NUS campaigning for mental health stuff?
Yes, definitely. I think there's a massive opportunity there to get more involved. I know they've done a few things with the foundation and the Be a Game Changer campaign, but I think there's more that we could do. And I'd like to be the driving force behind that. I mean, I'm an ambassador of the campaign anyway, through what I've done with the Newcastle United Foundation. But I want to help drive that through NUFC and help it be open to more people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Obviously, you've talked about it and you've done wonderful stuff with the foundation. And, we've tried to push it as well. And I think the more people that talk about it, and the better it might help one person. We've done the quiz. Obviously, that helped 5 or 6 people. And that's a big achievement to help 5 or 6 people. So, yeah, I totally back you for that. Totally do. And obviously, you've got all the lads' votes on NFTV. I think everyone's voting for you.
Definitely.
As well. But I wanted to talk through just your statement of what you've gone through. Obviously, you talked about I'm running for the board, as I believe I can bring a fresh voice and a point of view to the members. As someone who isn't a Geordie, I believe I can bring the views from Newcastle fans from my hometown of London. You've held a season ticket for 17 years. I don't think many people know that about you, do they?
No, people, I think they think I'm just one of these part-time fans, but I've had a season ticket for 17 years. And I've been home, away, I've been abroad. I've been a fan of the club for my whole football supporting life. And it's a passion, and I'm Geordie by heart. I might not be by accent, but by heart I am. And it's just one of those things. I mean, I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on the club, and I refuse to give in and refuse to not go, because it's my passion and it's going to be my kids' passion, and it's what I've been brought up on.
Yeah. Poor kids, man. Poor kids.
I know. Do you know what? It's harsh as well, because my little boy is literally, through not even me pushing it, started being Newcastle mad.
Yeah, he is.
And
yeah. It's one to get that hook in it.
Yeah. I'm a little bit gutted for him, but I've had to deal with it.
Well, at least he's not putting a Man City top on or something, So it's going to
Definitely.
be local lads supporting these local teams the way it should be, But you've obviously fell in love with Newcastle. You're not from the local area, as well as you can probably tell by you've mentioned already with the accent. How did you fall in love with the tune?
It's part of my family. My auntie actually married a Geordie. Wow. And I've always shared that my first ever football experience was Millwall versus Gillingham at the Den.
Oh, did you get up alive?
Millwall were my local tank. Well, I was bang in the middle of Millwall and Palace, and Millwall were more the informed team at the time. And yeah, that was my first ever game, and it was a wet, windy, rainy. It was disgusting, and it was a 0-0 draw. And I swore I would never ever go back to the football. Yeah, and then a week later, my uncle said to me, "Come to the match with me. I've got a spare ticket." And it was Wimbledon against Newcastle, and we lost, but I fell in love. The atmosphere, the fans, everything. I left the game with a couple of shirts, a few scarves, some hats, just off the crowd of people I'd never met before.
And you've been hooked ever since. Yeah, you are.
Sadly.
all because of Wimbledon.
Definitely, and I'd never change it. They're the best fans in the world. And I'm not even just saying that as one. They genuinely are the best fans in the world.
Yeah, I totally agree. But look, you've just got to look at pre-season, the way it is, mad.
Yeah.
You've already touched upon, you do a lot of stuff with the foundation as well and campaigning for Be Game Changer. And obviously have an ambassador type role with them in terms of delivering the campaign and its message on social media and in meetings. I believe I could help deliver this to a wider audience, using the NUFC as a platform to get more people involved in part of that club and help raise the profile and awareness of the work the club and the foundation does behind the scenes. We briefly touched upon that before. Obviously, you do for some fantastic stuff, and I like the fact that the foundation are trying to reach out to even influencers like ourselves in the past 18 months and others as well across the fan base. So they're trying to get that message across, and massive credit to you, Josh. I've said that to you before. People do look up to you. You will have your down days, but you've got to also remember that people do look up to you and think, you know what, that lad's gone through shit and he's come at the other side. So there is fantastic stuff that Be a Game Changer do. So if you're not involved, have a look at their website. And Josh is a big ambassador and a big fan of the work they do as well. Massive. And you'll be seeing a lot more of them guys in the next 12 months. And obviously now it's opened up. We can get out and about back on NFTV as well, because we were restricted a little bit with that. Obviously, you go on to say, I fell in love with the club at a young age, and I've credited more on one occasion with saved my life, which you briefly touched on before. I want to give it back in some way and show my support and graciousness towards it. This club does more than people ever know and understand. It gets people through the darkest times and helps them through a routine and something to look forward to and I believe in. Without this club, I know I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have led the life I have. I just want to help the NUFC speak out, spread the message, and hope to help millions of fans across the world. And I want to be part of that journey and help make take the NUFC and the club forward, which is a wonderful statement. You can say everybody else, candidates as well on here. If you want to say everybody else, we are bigging Josh up because he's one of ours. But you are allowed a second vote, so you can vote for a second person, but please opt for Josh. We're not begging you, we're just asking you politely, So please do. There's lots of other candidates as well.
There's some fantastic candidates, to be fair. Some really, really good candidates. And I'm really good friends with another of the candidates as well, and Graham Bell.
Yeah.
So if you're giving me a second vote, I'd push you for it as well.
Brilliant. Well said. And there's a lot of people who've done short statements, long statements as well. But those are the statements. If you've got any questions that you want to fire to Josh, or even about the NUFC, you might know, you might not know. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? So please fire them in if you do. I'll go back on to you touch upon that you obviously want to give to the NUFC, but what do you want back from the NUFC?
Just supporting me in helping drive ideas forward. I think it's all well and good having the ideas, but without their support in helping me to push my ideas forward with them, then it's going to go nowhere. And it needs to be a whole team effort. And I think that's where people have lost it in the past and they feel like they haven't been supported. And I've read a lot of things online and a lot of negativity and a lot of positivity. But all I want from us is their help and their support to help drive my ideas, the fans' ideas forward into trying to support the club.
And do you want that freedom just to go out and do it with their backing?
Yeah, definitely. I want to try and do it off my own back, but with their support, always with them in mind and leading their campaign and what it is about. But I want to try and get out and help and support and show people what NUFC are doing and the support they give and what we're trying to do to help forward the club.
Yeah, we are going to come on to some negativity with the NUFC and positivity as well. We're talking about both sides here. The big thing that Alex Hurst was pushing, was the 18 and 92 pledge, which I thought was an interesting idea about it. Putting money aside, fans graciously donating money on a direct debit scheme or a one-off fee or what have you. Do you think this is a good scheme?
I do. I think it's showing that they want to try and drive the club forward and help support financially as well as just in their words. They want to show, look, we're trying to deliver what we can. Yeah. And if people committing, we never know what's going to happen. If new owners come in and they do want us to commit and buy in, then why not? And to get fans along for the ride, I think it's a fantastic idea.
It is, and hopefully, let's just say it does go tits up. At least that money is then going to be put away and be put forward towards a charity. People got different ideas. I've got different ones. I would like to say go to the non-league clubs personally, but that's just my own idea. People might have different ones, I'm sure. Everybody else does. So I think it is a good scheme. If you can't afford it, you know, the NUFC totally respect that. If you have anything spare left over, please help with the pledge. All the information on that with the NUFC is on their website. Got some cracking cartoon videos as well, which are fantastic, well, clever made as well. I love all of that. But yeah, it is a good scheme. I know Sam from our group is massive champion that as well. So have a look at that. He's massive champion that as well. Do you also feel, you briefly touched upon it before, do you feel how obviously social media can be a little bit toxic? Do you feel people quickly forget what the actual NUFC do?
Definitely. I think NUFC are easy to blame. I think what people forget is they can't necessarily take a side. And I think they use that as a point to blame them for a lot of things. I've seen a lot of negativity towards them, especially on Twitter of late. And it's sort of like, but they're doing their best to help support us and to keep a good relationship with the club. Because if they don't have a good relationship with the club, then there's nothing there for them. And I do think people just forget what they deliver, what they do. I mean, was it the season before last? They were helping people with court cases and court fees and costs. And people just are quick to let that slip their mind.
And obviously they got in front of Richard Masters, of course, as well, which, you know, journalists couldn't do that as well. They've done a lot of stuff they're fighting for. Obviously, they're talking. They're even helping me. I've actually reached out because I've got a ticket situation. I can't move my seat, despite being 12,000, 13,000 free seats. It's currently in the moment. I can't move my seat. So it's absolutely hideous. And you know, so they are helping if you reach out as well. It's not just for a group. It can be an individual case. So they are helping. Obviously, on NFTV as well, you know, we've gone through, we've backed certain groups, and there's been, and I'll say this as well because I'll only say this one or two times, is that why don't NFT, and I'll change it just to NUFC, just for Newcastle Fans TV there quickly. Why don't Newcastle Fans TV back a certain group or this group or that? And I'll tell you as honestly, we did back a group. Some of the group wanted to back Tune for Change, and this was about when the scarves come out. The problem that we had with Tune for Change with Newcastle Fans TV is that someone really wanted to push it, which I totally respected. However, one of their members had publicly went for me personally and another one of our members as well. So they attacked two individuals on NFTV, and there's a lot of disruption, a lot of breakdown communication, a lot of in-house fighting at NFTV. And from that moment, Newcastle Fans TV then said, we're not backing any group because of what happened. And then carrying on from that, shortly after, we had the Arsenal boycott. That put a lot of strain on Kyle and Paul, who are no longer with us. But me, Kyle and Paul boycott that game. We're in the Shark Bar, and then we're seeing everybody go in. We felt not betrayed, but kind of let down that Sky Sports were pushing it. BBC were pushing it. And it was attendance of about 45, was it right, Joff? About 45,000, something like that, for the Arsenal game when we got beat 1-0, and it was chucking it down. We just felt, nah, not anymore. Not anymore for us. I respect people who want to protest. I respect people who don't. But for us as a group, as Newcastle Fans TV, I've built this from scratch, and we're not prepared to chuck it away. So that's why we'll not publicly go out and say we back this, we don't back this anymore, because we'll lose what we created in NFTV. So that's the real reason for anybody who asked us on Twitter or Facebook or in person. I got asked that the other day in pre-season, but that's the real reason why, because it was in-house fighting previously. Someone was pushing a group that had, an individual who attacked us, and we thought not again. But that's the reason. But we'll go back to why we got Josh on, because we went a little bit left field there. Kind of, we'll switch it on to negativity as well, because I don't want to just sit on one side of the fence. I want us to come across to the other as well, with negativity that the NUFC get. Do you feel that they get accused of accusation stuff as, where is the money going? Because you get a lot of people saying, I'm cancelling my membership. Where's the money going? Do the NUFC need to be more transparent of where that's going, and perhaps a bit better communication of regular updates?
Yes, I think they do. I think people need to. I don't think they can show everything, and I don't think they're expected to show everything. I think there should be a level of transparency where they are showing certain things to us, so we do know where it is going. I mean, people will want to know, and people will question it. And with all these other groups and other actions taking place, ideas get into people's head. They follow a crowd, and then they just want to know. And I think it's an easy fix to show people what you can show them. Obviously, I know people are clear, and I know they're not allowed to see certain things, but the stuff that we're allowed to be shown, we should be shown.
And of course, we do respect that. You know, the money that the NUFC have goes into an actual proper trust, and it's governed as well. I know there's some social media hype about a previous member who used to be involved in criminal activities and what have you, but I know someone was pushing that recently. You can probably guess who. But yeah, I think where money goes and so on, I think that can be helped a little bit better. That goes along with the next one, which is, I think, communication. With the NUFC, can communication be improved with NUFC, with its members, Josh?
I think it can. I mean, I know we get the regular emails, but I think they could be more. I think there could be more stuff we're told. I know we're sort of told the main headlines, but maybe we need to have a little bit more transparency of what's going on a lot more of the time. It's only when there's like main trigger points we're ever told anything, or if there are elections coming up or memberships due and stuff like that. So I think there could be a better level of communication, and that's what I'm hoping to help bring and to achieve with them, is to communicate more openly to the fans.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And for my personal experience, I think it can be. I've said that Newcastle United Supporters Trust is only the one that we'll back and on FTV going forward, because it's the closest thing that we've got is a communication with the club, despite that communication being absolutely shocking because of who's at the club. Which is
it's not the NUFC's fault.
But if we had, I'm not even talking about the Saudis, if John Smith took over, instantly the communication is going to be a win-win, and the NUFC are going to have better access, because it's the new owner, whoever comes in, whether it's a Saudi billionaire or John Smith. The first thing that they're going to do is change that, because it brings the fans on board, and the first people that are going to be in there is going to be the Newcastle United Supporters Trust as well, which, you know, there's a lot of meetings that the club have to have or try to have, which they don't do really, I don't feel, with, I mean, you look at the fan forum, I mean, that was a joke itself. The communication for me is, obviously, I allow the NUFC to have access to NFTV live streaming, which I'm very grateful for them asking us, and vice versa, given their platform. I'm on the council. I haven't really heard much about this with the council. We had a couple of video calls, but both of them I was working. Didn't know anything else. I know there's emails and that, but it was like, right, okay, I wouldn't say we're, NFTV blow their own trumpet, but there's a lot of stuff that we could do to help NUFC with things like graphics, or live access, which we've done as well. But I didn't. In the moment, I feel with the NUFC, where's my position on the council? I mean, I'm just parked at the moment. What's happening with it? I would like a little bit more from that. So that's my own personal experience. Some people might be different, but I think the communication can be massively helped as well. And that can also be pushed towards on the social medias as well. Yeah. That's going to reach out to thousands as well. And I also say the people that run those social medias need to be informed quicker as well. They can get that message out quicker, because I do feel one or two are not left in the dark, but can be told a lot quicker to get that message out to everybody else. So that's my own.
Definitely. I think the speed of getting the message across, the level of the in depth that they go into to get it across. I think it could be just more regular, like maybe shorter emails with more in them, just like more, maybe a couple times a month rather than once a month, rather than not using social media to its full potential. I think there's a lot that can be done, and that's one of the things I want to try and get involved in, is the communication and sort of laying it out to people.
Yeah, I would agree. And it could be something like maybe not once a week, but maybe a meet. Do you know how they do the meetings? Maybe can some of that be live streamed, not live streamed, or maybe pre-recorded, edited, or what they're talking about. Obviously, not explaining all the details, because I understand that they can't. But maybe a little snippet of, we held a meeting last night. It was talked about X, Y, and Z a bit quicker, rather than finding out 3 weeks later on an email. Or 2 weeks later on an email, what happened last night? Okay, right. That's why I back this is why I back the NUFC and what have you. I do feel communication can be improved massively on that. I'll come to some questions because some have came through as well. And the Toon fan says, you seem really well positioned and connected, Josh, and you've got Lee's vote, so you've got mine too.
Nice one.
In all you do as well. So as I say, please vote for Josh. And now we're being a little bit biased, but got to back one of your own, haven't you? And Carl's gone on to say, I think they are pretty transparent, but I do agree there should be more regular updates for sure. Definitely agree as well. I mean, I'll never get sick of regular updates 4 times a week. I know that might cost resources, sending out tons of emails and what have you. I'll never get sick of that, reading about the club. I'm too obsessed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
So, I mean, I'm too obsessed. I want to know what's happening with the women's. I want to know what's happening in the 23s. I go at the games. I go all the way. I'm going tomorrow again. And I want to know that's me. I need me fix. And this is the closest thing to the club, So I don't mind saying loads. I'd rather get kept up to date rather than not. Definitely. Elliot, good shout out, Elliot. Elliot, I've seen you in a couple of away games already. You haven't seen me. I haven't spotted you a mile off, Elliot. So I've seen him at Doncaster. I've seen him up in Stands at Rotherham as well. I've seen you, Elliot. I've seen you. Premier League is up to no good. Yeah, what do you make of the whole Premier League? Carry on, Josh.
Absolutely dodgy as out, aren't they? Let's be honest. It's all. The more I read into it, the more I see it, the more you can just see it's a massive ploy. Because for a fact, if this was one of the so-called big six, this takeover got done last year. They just do not want us at the table.
Don't want the big seven, do they?
They don't want it. They don't want anyone else competing. They got their big six. They're happy with their big six. Everyone else is just fodder. And the fact Gary Hoffman's a massive con artist as well.
Yeah, that's all.
This goes to prove it all, doesn't it? They do not want us at the dinner table.
And again, the NUFC should be coming out something with dead quickly. Again, come quickly because it's fresh in the memory. Be more proactive, and there is a lot of dodgy stuff with the Premier League. I totally agree with Josh. I think whether we get the takeover or not, there's something not right. Something doesn't sit with it, and it's been delayed again. So we'll probably January, February next year. Doesn't sit right with me at all.
January transfer window, we'll be sitting there going, "Oh, is there any money?" Or, "But we're waiting for the takeover." Or, "But we're doing this." We just need it done. I think
I'd rather have closure.
I just want to know.
Just get it now. Forget it. We've got Ashley for another year or two. I want that closure because it's just sitting there, doing nothing. I know the cat case is coming up, which is on my birthday, funny enough. So hopefully I get a good birthday present. Hopefully that goes in the favour of the tune, but that's not, now to do with the arbitration. But hopefully that'll influence it, swing it perhaps. But yeah, we know the Premier League dodges out. We know that. If you want to ask any questions on the takeover about where the NUFC position is, you've got the comments there. Please get them in. Probably be live for another 5, maybe 10 minutes, 15. I wanted to talk about this one because this was an interesting one. As I've said, I'm not going to go against the NUFC, but do the NUFC sit on the fence, is what I've seen on Twitter and social media, with certain topics like backing a protest group. So, for example, we're seeing NUFC protests go down in London. I didn't see anything till the last minute with NUFC. And then they've got to change, are going to be pushing the one coming up for West Ham. Do you feel that not come out quicker, right? We back it, or we don't. Or maybe what can they do? Can they poll the members first and get a response that way?
I think that'd be for best. I don't think they want to necessarily put their position at risk by siding with one or the other. And I don't think it's the best thing for them to do. I do think it's genuinely in the NUFC and the fans' best interest for NUFC to not get involved in all of that, to be honest, because they're the main communication we've got with the club, and the work they're doing behind the scenes themselves, that might jeopardise it. I do think they should ask members whether they want to be involved and whether they should release a statement, but I don't necessarily think they should side. And that's my personal opinion.
I kind of feel like they need to respond quicker when they're getting asked. So, obviously, with protest groups, I'm not going, as I've mentioned earlier on, because of what happened in-house with NFTV a couple of years ago. We won't be backing publicly because we're not going to lose what we built on Newcastle Fans TV. We've got to look after ourselves first. But I do feel that if, the NUFC protests which went down, and that's the real reason why I never backed that. We never backed that publicly, which, we've got people blocking us on Twitter for no reason. Right? There's a real reason why we don't. But I feel that they should come out and respond quicker, because they're leaving it last minute. It's like it kind of gives off the vibe that they don't really give a shit. They don't care whether people go and protest or not. And I feel that they could be quicker, maybe pull the members there quickly, try and get a quick response back saying, okay, 70% back this protest. Then that might give them food for thought on, Tune for Change's next one. Can they I agree with not taking sides, because that'll cause arguments with, and Steve Wraith. I'll mention Steve, obviously, with his YouTube channel. He went down with the protests as well. He felt he wasn't backed by the NUFC. And I kind of, not siding with Steve, but I get why the NUFC didn't come out and say, shut up or put up. They just sat and parked to the last minute. And if Tune for Change go in one protest, the NUFC should come out and say, right, our members, X, Y, and Z, pulled 70%, 80%, back it.
Yeah.
That's what I think the next steps would be, and then make the decision from that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I think you're right, and it should be fed to the members to decide whether the campaign's backed or not.
I would agree. And
it should be quicker.
And it's not like labeled towards like anybody on the board, like, Greg, Alex, Charlotte, whoever. It's not labeled at them. They've actually done what they've said they do, and then say, right, okay, so X, Y, and Z have said, this is pretty high. If we don't back this, it goes against them. I think they should at least trial and see how it goes, because as I say, it feeds off of me. And I'm kind of like sat in the middle here, watching this happening. There's a protest group there, and then the official supporters group are just sitting there, not acknowledging it publicly. They might privately, but they're not backing or put up or shut up, saying, right, we can't because of X, Y, and Z, or we can because of X, Y, and Z. I think that again comes to communication and transparency. Because yes, you might, or Steve's got a lot of critics. Steve Wraith has got a lot of critics. I can understand the NUFC might not want to side with him because he obviously criticised them back, and people love Steve, people don't love Steve. I can get all that side argument, and kind of us with Tune for Change, how we were targeted a couple of years ago by one of the individuals. I'll not publicly back that, but I can get why people might take sides. I just think it needs to be quicker, because at least they're getting off the arses and trying to do something.
Yeah.
People you've got to respect that they've travelled doing London, which would have took 10 hours, 5 hours there, 5 hours back, and done something. Whether you agree, I respect that. Whether you agree or not, it's totally different matter. Yeah,
no, massively. I think Steve and Holly did a great job leading it, feeding it through their channel, and they delivered what they said they were going to deliver, and it was fantastic. But I think you're right in saying that the NUFC should have come out earlier and said whether they were on side of it, whether they backed it, or whether they didn't back it, but they should have fed it to the members, and they should have allowed a vote, and they should have allowed better levels of communication to come out on whether they were part of it or agreed with it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's something that the NUFC can definitely work on, whether it's good or bad. I think it just has to come out quicker.
Yeah.
Shut up or put up for me. Shut up or
definitely.
Put up. For me, we've got a few comments that have come in here as well. Everton fan, hope the takeover goes through. Christ, Stephen, I think we all want it as well. Meg's gone out and say, what do you think of the latest news about the Premier League person is under investigation for money laundering? Well, Josh has kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier. So Mr. Gary Hoffman is
scumbag.
Yeah, Josh can say that. Yeah, he's yeah, well, we'll say that as well. Hi, Andrew, mate. I hope you were good as well. Andrew, one of our members. Lee, how do I order one of the NFTV tops you have on? Andrew gives a message the next time because you remember. I'll just give you one for free because you remember you pay for it. So if you're at a home game, give us a shout and I'll get you one of these. Got tons in the cupboard. Right, the next one I want to move on to. I don't agree whether you're going to games or not. I've seen this quite a few times on Twitter. You've probably seen this yourself. NUFC don't go to games. Does it actually matter whether you do or don't?
Do people actually know that though?
Yeah, they don't.
That's the thing. Do they know that? I don't go to every away game, but then I've got a full-time job and 2 kids, so I can't go to every away game. Did I go to every away game 5, 6, 7 years ago? Yeah. And I went everywhere. And I go to every home game, whether it's cup or league, I'm there. But do people necessarily know that? Because I don't necessarily share it with everyone that I'm at the game. So I think
because we're obviously on video, so
well, yeah.
But
so I think it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter anymore.
I totally agree. So the NUFC is there to support the worldwide. You know, we've got fans in America, we've got fans in South America, Africa, Asia, you know, Australia, you name it. We've got fans all over the world. They can't go to games.
Even up and down the country. We've got fans in Cornwall. They're not going to travel up for every game because it costs a fortune. And I was mug enough to pay it when I was younger because I had the money.
Yeah,
I could afford it week in, week out. Whereas now I've got a house and kids and I can't necessarily afford to go to Chelsea away because they're charging me 60 quid a ticket, plus the travel down there, plus this, plus that. I don't think it matters. It's on TV if you want to watch it. You can always watch the match, whether that's Sky, BT, a dodgy link, which I don't encourage, but if that's how you've got to watch it, that's how you've got to watch it. I've done it plenty of times. So I don't think it matters. I think fans are fans, no matter whether you're at the game, whether you're not at the game. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's got a different opinion. I don't think it matters. And I think it's ridiculous for people to question it.
I don't either because I don't care if someone gets on the board who doesn't go to games. I think what the NUFC could do, they could use somebody who does on a regular basis because, you know, I seen them talk about, they come out and said that I remember Burnley when we were all crowded and they had one toilet. And the safety. I mean, anybody who's been to Turf Moor, Christ, it's worse than Goodison, and that tells you something. But yeah, the safety, that was an issue, which the NUFC came out and said. But maybe they can drop into people who go to games with the members as well.
Yeah,
you know, ticketing issue, they're really good at. I think the NUFC are actually pretty good at that with ticketing issues as well. And obviously trying to help me with my situation at St James's. But I think that's nonsense. I don't care whether you're 20-year-old or you're 60-year-old running for campaign for the NUFC. Doesn't matter for me. Doesn't influence my vote as well. The last one that I had was just outside of NUFC. Obviously, we back NUFC. Is there any fan groups outside of NUFC that you back or you like or you respect?
Do you know what? I respect all of them, to be honest. I think they've all got something about them, and I think they're all trying to do the same thing. We all want the same end goal. I don't necessarily publicly support them, and I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that they do or say because there's some sniping from everyone.
Yeah.
And what they've all got to realise is we're all on the same team. We all want the same thing, and we all want to see Newcastle United succeed. And we all want to see us thrive. We're one of the biggest clubs in the country, if not Europe, and we deserve to be at the top end of the table competing. And I think the problem is people think they're better than other fans or they're bigger than other fans or they're more committed to the cause than other fans. And it's not that at all. We're all after the same end game. And I think that needs to be remembered a lot more. Is we're all fans of the same club. We all want the same for that club and we all deserve it. I mean, we've all been through the shit. We've had 13 years of whatever we want to call Mike Ashley. Were we lucky when we were younger to have Freddie and decent managers and players that wanted to play for us and could go out and spend money? Yeah, we were lucky. I was blessed to have that growing up. But
also was that.
We want more now. And we should have more now. We're not a poor club. No matter what they say, no matter what they release, we're not a poor club.
Alleged 10 million.
Yeah, it's rubbish, man. We've made tenfolds of that. But we've got a businessman in charge of the club who knows what he wants out of it, and that's to make money. It's not to lose money. It's not to spend money. He wants to make money. And he's very good at it for his own personal gain. But not for us.
Yeah. He's a very good businessman, but a shocking football owner.
Absolutely. But he'd probably say that himself. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
he wants rid, and for the first time ever, that Newcastle fans actually back Ashley because he wants rid of the club.
Yeah, I mean, I've met him a couple of times. The first time I met him, he was a fan. We were on the piss. He was buying everyone beer, so everyone loved him. The second time I met him, I got told to avoid him because I would have voiced my opinion. But I still I got told I had to shake his hand. I shook his hand. We had a discussion about a few things, and then that was that. But he's a clever man, and he's a very good businessman. But as you say, he's not a football owner, and he'll say that himself.
Yeah, the first time ever Newcastle fans are trying to back Ashley. I think personally, for me, in the weird days, I know that Mike Ashley gets sang about. Well, let's sing a bit more about the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. And he's not a Cockney. Can I just throw it out there? Mike Ashley is not a Cockney.
Yeah, I know he's not. It's a myth, isn't it?
He's from
the Midlands.
He's a Brummy man. He's a fat Brummy bastard, not a fat Cockney bastard.
He was born in the Midlands and he moved down just outside of North London, didn't he?
He doesn't even live in London. Yeah. So I'm just saying that because I don't like that song because it's inaccurate.
Because you're a Cockney.
Because I'm a Cockney.
But I do think the Premier League chance will be a little bit more. During pre-season, all the games, there's only been the Premier League is corrupt, and that's only been a few times.
Yeah, it needs to be heavy. It needs to be stronger, especially when we're on Sky.
Oh, yeah, first game of the season, yeah, push it. Because guess
West Ham's a perfect opportunity to absolutely lay out what we think of the Premier League.
And West Ham fans are exactly like us, troubles off the pitch.
Well, look what they did.
Yeah, well,
look what they did, and look at the coverage they got. And I'm not condoning that at all. I'm not saying jump on the pitch and scream at Ashley because he won't be there. But look what they did, and look at the leverage they got, and look what they've done since.
Yeah, it probably the owners let any shit themselves.
Just
going back to the fan groups with a question, do you feel that the kind of two questions for one here is that there's too many fan groups, and that's because we're not united?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. There's too many different opinions when we should be pulled as one.
Yeah.
And that's the direction we should all be going in, is one group. Because we all want the same thing.
Yeah, we all want to be happy. We all want to say, oh, what a win. What a performance by ESM, going past three players, put the top corner. That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to see. We're not want to talk about social media, in-house, outside, third party fighting or whatever. I personally think there is too many fan groups.
I agree.
I agree. I think it needs to be narrowed down because I think that the problem that I think is I kind of feel like with fan groups is that it's who you like, who you back,
popularity.
I don't think that should be the way. I think it should be, and it kind of pushes back to NUS. NUS is the best chance, whether you like that or not, and that goes back to why I think NUS need to come out quicker and back or shut up against the fan group. They've got to be quicker for me, and they get a little bit more respect for me for doing that a lot more quicker rather than leaving it last minute or don't even discuss it publicly or email or pull it at least as well. We'll wrap up with a few comments. We've got a few that have come through, so if you want to quickly fire through some of your questions. Mike's gone out and say, I don't think it should matter whether you go to games or not. It doesn't make you less of a fan with the club you support. Totally agree. Totally agree on that. Very kind of you, Lee. Hoping to get to a game soon. We'll drop your message. Yeah, and just please give us a heads up because your match days are manic with all the things I've got to go through. But yeah, that's fine, mate. Carl's gone out and say absolutely doesn't matter where you go to games or not. This channel is a prime example of people who have met from all over the world, passionate about their club. It makes us the best. And that's coming back. I think Carl's on about the fan reaction show where you get people popping up from South Africa to USA to next door. Literally, I've had someone who lives in the next street pop on as well. So that's how mad it can be. But yeah, all that stuff will be coming back on NFTV, the side of things. Toon fan. Yeah, Dan the Toon fan loves all that. Bruce is going to win you. No, he's not. You can't even win pre-season trophies, man. Right. Unfortunately, I've only known Mike as our owner. Cannot wait to see what the future brings. We will get it. We will get the club back. It's a long slog and process, but Mike Ashley won't be here forever. The fans will be.
Exactly. He wants rid of us. At the end of the day, he does not want us anymore. So all we can hope for is he takes the right bid. He's always said he won't sell us to anyone that's not going to take the club forward, which I respect him for.
I hope that's true. Yeah, I still find it a bit...
yeah, it's Mike Ashley. You never know if it's 100%. But if it is legit and he just wants us to go forward, then happy days. But he won't be here forever. He doesn't want us. So...
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. He wants rid of it, definitely. I would make more of a point if all the different it would make more of a point if all the different fan groups stood together. That yeah, I would agree. I think that kind of I think what I liked, there was a statement by a lot of groups a while back. I think it was a BT game. I'm sure it was BT.
Yeah, I think it was. It was released to them, wasn't it?
We were involved in we were involved in it as well. There's a few others as well. That was the most I've seen in one back in it. But yeah, I totally agree. We tried to do something last year when the takeover fell to shit. And Johnny's idea was be united and try and get a few YouTubers on and just to push that. And some did, some didn't. But again, that kind of falls into let's try and unite and push it. Agree to Dan as well. Thanks for the shout out, Lee. It was a good night. It was. I hope to meet you sometime next season. But Elliot, I keep seeing you from distance. Like you at the Doncaster your front row. Rotherham, you were up in the gods, so I couldn't. So yeah, I definitely got to bump into you and talk your head off with football. I'm just going to say it'd be nice to see a group of Newcastle YouTube. You just literally read my mind there. Get together and discuss these topics, i.e., True Geordie, Steve Wraith, etc., etc., etc. It's a fantastic idea. I personally don't think that'll happen, but it is a great idea that we all sat in a room, maybe one represent from each group, whack it on video, discuss it, free for all, discuss everything. Relationship with another, fan groups, club, football, whole lot. Why not? Why not? It might take a lot of effort, but yeah, it would be nice.
There's no reason it wouldn't work because, as we've said quite a lot tonight, we all want the same thing. And I think we need to remember that there's a lot of different fans, a lot of different groups. We all want what's best for the club and we all want to take the club forward. So why can't we just do that together rather than a separate entities trying to claim I did that? Why can't it be we did that?
Yeah, yeah. It goes to say you might not like the person, but you've got to respect what they're doing. Like
absolutely, some of them are doing great stuff and really leading it, but pull it together, make it a we and not an I. It's supposed to be united, and we're one of the most fractured fan bases in football.
Yeah, I totally agree. Arsenal might win us close, mate, but
they're done after them.
Arsenal have a meltdown for finishing European spots most season. Every season
ever.
Except from last season. I'd love to be in their position. I would totally agree. And hopefully, that what we're trying to show tonight is that ask a couple of difficult questions. We'll not sit on the fence. We will ask questions like that. Josh didn't know what was coming up tonight in terms of them questions. Negativity about the NUFC, which we respect. Positivity, which we respect. I think you've got to ask both sides as well. And hopefully,
it's transparency, isn't it? That's not what it's about. If you can't be honest sitting here one-on-one, then you're not going to be honest sitting in a room full of people.
And I think the NUFC obviously will watch the back. I'm sure they will. And hopefully they take, even themselves, maybe one person takes away some of the questions that people, and they know that already, what people are feeling on social media. They know that. I think some of the ideas that I've personally brought and Josh has personally brought, I don't know, it might come something of it. And more videos like that, come together instead of saying an I, we, you, us, them, all together as one. Yeah, literally, there's a clue in the title. Just for a thing, any Man United fans watching, we were united before you. So that's just a side note away from this. I hate Man United getting called United. They're called United about 12 years after us. Just saying,
There's only one United, and it's NUFC. That's it.
I'm not going to sing it. I'll just think of April Hunt. That's sing. April was on our channel. It was class when she did that. Anything else you want to mention, Josh? Obviously, except from please vote for Josh if you're a member. If you're not a member, join us.
Yeah, join us. Get involved.
£2 a year, and these
are not even that, is it? It's £1. It's £1 to sign up, and then £1 per year. It's well worth it. You get so much feedback from them about what's going on at the club, and if you want to support anything else, you can do it for as little as £1 a month. Yeah, it's a direct debit, £1 a month.
The pledge they've got going on. They've got loads of stuff, and they do a lot of stuff which people do forget. I forgot as well. I'll forget as well. And I think and I know the NUFC have mentioned that we've done stuff and done this and done that. I think that can also be a reminder as well. Again, putting that out more often as well, because I did do that. Because I forget, and I'm just one fan. You'll forget as well, Josh.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff as well. I think the NUFC is in the best position that they've been in. I think in the what they are now, the last probably 2 years than what they've been previously in the last decade. for me. It's Craig. I'll give you a shout out. Yeah, 199 donation. Thank you very much. Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for that small donation. That'll be lovely. Andrew's gone out and say, well said. We did that. We would have better demonstration of being united rather than one person or group be dependent on get the message heard. Elliot's obviously replying back to Craig as well. But yeah, last thoughts, Josh. When does it close?
On Friday.
So
Friday, it's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, Friday.
Is it Thursday night, Friday morning, or can you vote
Friday
still?
morning, I think it is. I think it's Friday that it closes. I'll have to double check. I've been on the piss all weekend. My mind's a mash field at the minute. So,
and he's back and he wants your vote. So
I do want your votes.
You've got 3-4 days. If you're not a member, join. Like I say, these are the best bet. That's why we're back in the communication with the club. And if you are a member, you know, this guy sitting next to us wants a bit of change, wants a different voice, like the rest of the candidates as well. We're not just, obviously we're pushing Josh because he's obviously NFTV now, but yeah, we're going to back him as well. Doesn't matter where you're from, he's dodgy Cockney accent, or wherever you're from, whether you're up in the Shetland Islands. If you support the tune, you love the tune, so
you're one of us.
You're one of us. We've got that.
One of us.
In what's the word I'm looking for? United. Aye, we're all united as two. Whereabouts in London are you from, Josh?
I am from Southeast London.
There you go. Croydon.
No.
Oh.
You're not far away, but I'm not one of them.
Where's it? Mitchell? Is that the next one?
I'm from Bromley. So I'm not even really a Cockney, to be honest, but it's the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, he's a Cockney. Right, okay. Many thanks, Lee, Josh, for tonight's chat. Thank you very much. Something a little bit different tonight. Obviously, we've been at all the games, so we haven't done a live interaction show for quite a while because the games are coming thick and fast. Obviously, I'm at for NFTV Extra tomorrow. I'm up at Blythe, following the under-23s. You know what I'm like. And then, obviously, the Norwich one, which we might see Josh's face on Saturday. We'll try and arrange to make it get a few of the lads involved as well outside the St. James's Park. Oh, sounds so good to say that. But that is it. If you've got any comments about NUFC, about what Josh has said, you can watch the rerun. Well, you will be watching the rerun now in the comments box down there below. And I'll get Josh to reply because I'm lazy. So we'll get him to reply if you leave any comments as well. But if you can, smash the like. That'll help us. This will get the video seen. And it'll get Josh seen as well. That'll be wonderful. Have a good night. Good luck, Josh. You've got our back and from NFTV, of course. See you later, everyone. Good night.